Welcome to the gathering at the Cosmic Fire Summit, where we've invited shamanic earth-based healers, teachers, thought leaders, and allies to light the way into our future. During these times of great change and transformation, it's important for each one of us to find our own courageous solutions for the problems of today's world. Gathering at the Cosmic Fire Summit is brought to you by Shamans Directory, an online global platform for shamanic earth-based services. At Shamans Directory, we believe that it's time to bring shamanic earth-based wisdom and medicine to the forefront of people's minds when considering our overall health and well-being and the future of our planet. I'm Wake, one of your hosts at the Cosmic Fire, and I'm delighted to welcome Don Martin, Caro elder and medicine man from the Andes. Don Martin is an Andean priest, renowned healer, and teacher with a global awareness. He currently teaches and shares ceremony for the Wiracocha Foundation and its global Paco School. And he joins us today from Cusco, Peru. Also, shaman and energy medicine practitioner and our translator for today's session, Freddie Conde, who is also a summit contributor and featured speaker. Freddie has a special connection with Don Martin, who he considers to be his master Paco, as do many in the broader spiritual community. Freddie, welcome to this summit, and thank you so much for being here today. It's proper to begin any ceremony or formal activity with an invocation. Anything you would like to say about that, Freddie, before Don Martin begins?
All right, so the ceremony of Waharikui, which comes from the verb Wahai, which is to call or invoke. This is the ceremony in which we open the spiritual space for sharing the Andean tradition wisdom. We have to ask the permission of powers of nature, okay? The Father Sun, the Mother Moon, stars, sacred mountains, rivers, trees, spirit of the Alto Misayok, high-level priest, and the ancestor. So that's what he does before sharing his wisdom.
Great. We're honored to receive this invocation. Freddie.
Papa Don Martin, Papito. Ahora sí, Papa lindo. Guajare Quinins, Papa Ruarsuntia, Caleria.
No le grasa para tirar más trabajar.
Ahora sí, no calla tapar aquí.
Ya no para nada. A ver, entonces. Ya para que te se mueve a poco no conozco, somos ya na painique. Y no está a po sancate, va na sancate. A baicate, jayancate. Y no está sorimana. Y no está jaribanaco. Somos ta conanga que punta y conapo, somos cacho a poco que punco. Kunanga ya na painiquita, ya niquita churay baito, somos punchayma, yachay punchayma, ati punchayma. Munaita konanka, ki punchaypi konanka, oiga panas konan topas hansis topas hakachun, suma punchayta, suma yachayta, suma hatita. Magla, inata Juanaco, Guamalepa, Bairrona, Orpone, Apo Caña White, Center, Moyonde, Apocon, Sumarte, Napaicon, ki Pachape, Chita, no Comaña, actualmente, ki Punchicona, Suma Punche Canampa. En la letra, a ver qué soy yo Apocona. A ver, Apo Picol Pachatusan. Inata Apo Manacaro, Josquapa, Tawantisoyo Apo. Inata Mama Simona. Inata Apo Salcantay, Apo Umantay, Apo Yanantin. Wainapix, Matipix, Apo Akaivilca, Sabasere, Pitusere, hasta que Pantliga, Apo Chicón Pumabanca. Inata Mama Piruneca. Inata Taucaray. Apo Taucaray, Sumarte Conanga, Yanapaico en Kiko. Ya vale el tercer de momento, a poco no tercer de momento, Pachamama Sumata, 25 aquí con aquí Pachape. Y no te a ver, Chascapes, Chascamama, Joyur Mama. Y no te intentaste que la mama, Sumata con Anganap, Sumata y Anapai Cacho. Y no te Santa Terra de la Verga, Pachater, Pachamama, Sumata y Anapai Coico, y Masuma Ponchenique, pues somos por Kiko, kawsakuyku kay punchaykuna sumaqta ima kaqtapas sumaqta aliñanman churaybayku mamanusta sumaqta kunanqa parqachakuy alinta chaychariki sumaq punchayman chachiwankikuriki umaykumanta sumaqta chutabayku riqaykumanta makichaykumanta hampu Juliana Yusaya Yusuri Dios Espíritu Santo sotempes kunanqa kaypin saminchakuy kaypin kallpanchakuy kiwayqipis imatachay yachayta munashan chayqa sumaqta chaykunapas tinkuykachu sumaq palarwata tinkusqa kachu orpichay sonqulay
that Don Martin did, okay, was a beautiful invocation to the powers of his mountains, Ausangate Mountain, Surimana, Colquepuncu. They are the major apus around his community. Let's bless this day of wisdom. Let's bless this day of power and give all the wisdom to all of them. I am very happy in being able to share this wisdom with everybody and especially speak to my friend who is in front of me in the heart of the computer. Thank you, Apus from Eros, Poconi, Wairuroni, Wamanglipa. They are the shepherds from the Ero region. To the Suyu Apus, to the regional Apus, Apu Picol, Apu Pachatusan, Mama Simona, Salcantay, Ausangate, Pitusiray, Sawasiray as the shepherds of the Cusco region, Pumahuanca, Huacayhuilca, Tancaray, and to all the Apus all over this planet, all the sacred mountains connecting to all this planet, to the Hanakpacha beings, to the upper world, to the Chaskas stars, Mamaquilla, Mother Moon, to the Father Sun, Inti Taita, to Pachamama, Mother Earth, under the name of our Virgin Marie. Open this pathway, enlight our pathway. Shower us with your beautiful Sami at this day. Send us your nustas of manifestation and bless to all of us from the head to our feet, to all inhabitants of this planet. Saminchay, Kalpanchay, empower us, give us always all this power we need for continuing in our pathway. Whatever they want to learn will be given with a lot of love from us. Whatever we speak will be always blessed by powers of nature. Anyay, thank you very much. This was a little, understanding about the Waharikui he did for today, or invocation. Okay, now we can ask whatever we want. We open
I want to bathe in that energy, Freddie, and your beautiful translation. You have such a gift of bringing the energy of the Karo to English and to the minds and to the heart and to the action of what we are all about. I think it's fair to say, Freddie, that everyone watching this program is interested in the medicine man who's before us, who's interested in who Don Martin really is in his community, what role he takes, and his willingness to share his wisdom and his energy today. Is there something that you could tell us more about Don Martin, or even ask him what's important for his own spirit path?
Okay. Papa Don Martin. Alam papa nyami. Kay way kapananchis kuna pikuna ziki computadora son kompi kaway wasyanku chay paykuna yachayta munasyanku may pistianki chaymanta sichus situs comunidad neikipi umalij chukanki o de repente manañachu o pacha umalij chukaranki llaqtaykipi q'erospi chaykunata papa willanaykamusunchis primero qallarinanchis.
Ya, listo. Ya está, a ver, jalere yo vamos a conanca y pachape, pero a tonquero le está petiane en aspan, chebe, a cañera campo le está pe manan en cancho, y más pescar gancho, ne hay que pescar gancho. Venga, este pachacha, una manda, pues hay que spam por el rango, salgaron a jena. كيف انت يا رغم الشيخ نقول قالوا لي خطبنا ولا اختي جيب ناصيري ربنا جار قبطنا ناصيري جنا منايتك خبطن منايتك من جيبي ناصيري قتير جيبي وتسخ قلنا كان نقاق ما ما يدفش شيخ خيرو بيبس الدرس تبس primero teniente gobernador ta quién sabe ta tawa taroan teniente gobernador ta llaqta kamachikiñen ta juntan te mandaga a último haikilande ta nama. ¿Quién sabe tata? Central variante man. Ronda campesina. Chipe horkulkane estatuto internota anche kuskulaktamanta. Napaj kallar naikopaj. Chikunape por hakan mana kamachik kasuan yo mailakta pesas pipseke. Chemantaka anjila taruan chemantaka che alcantico no ara kau paglapan toko. Alcanta kamachik jiwata haken nuqa pakin talches papa Sara, Runa, Mechina, Urayma, Vichay, Cotichina, Runa, Maitona, Miranan Copa, o Kunapa, Kentona, Antibia Carga. The Cadaleta Chita Villarem, Chi, Yachay, Chi, Antita, Nohaiko, Alcanta Trosba, Huaraca, Runa Mechita, Alcanta, Churacon, Chibin, Chi, Manawa, Pacari, Wawa, Nuka, Mana Mihi Vinan, Nukapa Hote, Mana Sara Vinan, Nukapa Hote, Runa Van, Nukapa. Anchina Garkan, Tigunata Roane, Maros Haleta, the president letter, Yamana Roane, one president, Roy Macarcateva, Ali Kerokasam, Yachta, Sumach Yachtakam, Romana Atticon, Ingalachtakas, Manariconeses, Contorconen, Apomaconhen.
Perfecto, papá.
Gila Jeros, Caras of Los Home.
Okay, under the permission of Pachamama, I'm gonna speak about myself. So I live in Hatun Eros. I am from Charcapata Munaitika community. Okay, so we live over there in the heart of the mountains, just relying in the power of Pachamama, Mother Earth, creating all our needs, including our clothing at that place. Harvesting, gathering, raising our alpacas, and making our regular activities. Regarding to my activity within my community, I was the governor of my community. I was a Llaqta Kamachi. Llaqta is community, Kamachi is order, who puts order in the community. I did that for 4 years. And then I became a mayor of my community for another 3 years. That was one of my highest responsibility that I had together with my population. I ordered my population. I shared all the wealth from my community. I needed to check how is our harvest and how is the fertility of our animals. Because if we had a bad farming season, I needed to face up that. If we have a very bad fertility season in our alpacas, perhaps not procreation of our sheep or our alpacas, also it is my concern. I have to make sure that everybody will have the same, and I have to see who's are getting sick or who's are not getting sick. It is my concern. I need to organize all the Andean priests for making healings for big ones, small ones, elder ones, younger ones. I needed to see all the protection of my community. Remember that our community wasn't recognized by government before. During the period of mayor, I did a lot of paperwork for the protection of my community and also for the recognition, as a community or a spiritual community as well. I did, and I'm very proud that I was able to do all this for my community, right? So I saw all the process of progress in my community as well. Thank you.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear, Freddie, is Don Martin's place in his community, his dedication to service, his responsibility. That brings up a question for me, Freddie, and I believe that Don Martin, as well as other Caro, have felt called in a certain way to leave the high mountains from time to time, to come down to Cusco, even to be traveling the world and participating in programs such as this, to share the wisdom. Could you ask Don Martin what prompts him to be willing to share, to leave his community, to travel and to offer his wisdom? Why is that important now? And what message does he have?
Imanafting wakay kay tapuri kuy kasyang kampak papadong Martin.
Yeah.
Mispani wakay imanafting iriki kang yaktay kimanta lyoksin kiriki chaymanta hamunki koskoman chaymanta riki anke umalej yachaj pakujina riki nokanchistapas yachaychiwankichis imainas pakokay chaykunata chaymanta o paiskunatapas viajanki riki yachayniykita apaspa nispari kan kusichu kanki chayta ruwaspa wayqay imas tukuy sonqoykimantachu chayta ruwanki a ver oqchanta wilay ruwayki.
A ver, Villaros Reyes. Ima caso pin, wayqi llaqtaymanta hamuni. Tukara kawallimam sillarqurqani hinaspa ch'usaqniyta hurqurqun hinaspa mana purispa alaspan animalkunapa kayraq puriqti kay llamay wañuyninta tarpan lupaykushpa kayra kashkaruqti. Chinakuna pasawan mana llamaman purispa atispa hampuni ukunqata llaqtaman awsanqatimanqa. Mana imapichu mana hina llaqtaypichikuna kashaymi karqa. Kantirñiqs tiyashaymi kantirñiqs purishaymi. Hinaspa mana chaypi uywaman purispa mana atispa hampuniqa nama ukunqata llaqtaman.
Pero kunanqa rimayshayku yachayniykimanta anke
A ver, kona yachay kaqmanta willaramsayki chayqa chaymi llaqtayman hamun. A ver, yachayniyqa llapanpaq kay pachapi yachaytaqa llapanpaq kay wayqipanaskunamanpas sumaqta yacharchinaypaq kay apuskuna sumaqta ñuqatapas riki unanchawan rayo hap'isparaq bautizawan chay rayo apukunaq bautizasqan kani chaymantaraq kay yachaytaqa machunsmanta awiykumanta ñuqayku chay Pachamamapi apupi napis purirqayku chayqa chay yachayta kunanqa sumaqta mastarishanchis ima sumaq p'unchayman allin p'unchayman churarishanchis chay yachayniykuta anchaypi ñuqayku yachayqa karqan mana ñuqallamanta ñuqapi yachaytapas hap'ini nitaq abuelitulayku chaytapas ruwawan pero rayuraq chayta ñuqata nawan bautizawan chay rayuraq kinsata rayo hap'isparaq chaymantaraqa chay alto misa kayniypis kan chaymantapi yaqayaqa wañuyni unquspa ñawiykuna limpuykun qaqakunataqa pasayni maya ñuqaqa chaymanta mana señoratapis tarichiwanchu naka apukunaka señora man bianca tarban mana hatar pun pinas hina watan de ay megane china tan castillo top chura con apu manan chikuna purnaita matab consentikun iman tara hunya keman de chima hontan china antes responsaman por chaspa que más uicar kan paita pa carpa sunguna taro hinas para topan era un mantap sanyo hasta con una mano con una ponche un coficio carne ne imap muna o mancho tienen que causar ni mana imap pichu que ya que gracias cacho urbule son gule
Pin Carpa Rosunki?
Andrés
Andrés
Espinosa
Espinosa. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Don Martin says that currently he's not living at Eros. He changed location to Okongate, but he did a lot of work for his community in Hatun Eros. Okay. So regarding the question that you did, he said, like, the wisdom that we carry as Ero people, it is Kaipacha Yachay. It is a wisdom given for all over this planet. It is not only for the Ero people, not even only in my community. The Apus, sacred mountains, sacred spirits, as immortalized in the mountains, they are the ones who's encouraged to all Pacos for the dissemination of this wisdom all over this planet and be given to all those who wants to listen and work with it. This is something that started with myself from the time of my initiation. My initiation had a very long story, starting with the lightning, who came and followed me for my initiation. From there, it is that all the obligations that we need to have as initiate and as an Andean tradition, Paco or Andean initiate. Our obligation it is to expand all this wisdom all over this planet and let community and population who uses this spiritual tool arrive to one of the most wonderful days and recognize and use all the healing processes that are within our wisdom. I can say thank you to the Illapa or the lightning by giving me the Altomisha in one time. I holded my Altomisha in one time, which nowadays I gave it back to nature. I received and I went through different processes within my Altomisha, and I worked in benefit of my population. I would say to be a Paco, it is a high responsibility. It is not nice to not do a work of Paco when you are a Paco, all right? So it is to assist and share with all this wisdom that you were given. That is what my master told me when he made my karpai in the Andean mountains, who was Andres Espinosa, and very acknowledged Alto Misha and master from the community of Chaos, right? This is my pathway nowadays.
Everything that you say, Freddie, that's a translation of what Don Martin offers, is so deep, so beautiful. There's a thread here about the Apus, the mountains. It almost sounds as if the mountains are requesting that Don Martin and the Caro do work on their behalf. Not so much that Don Martin is asking the help of the powerful mountain spirits, but actually that he's doing their work. Is that a correct interpretation?
Is that a question for me, or you want me to ask that to Don Martin?
I'd like you to begin, if you don't mind.
Right, yeah. Well, when you are initiated in the Andean tradition, okay, spiritual tradition, this is your engagement with powers of nature. This is your engagement in order to use the powers of nature, and transform the heavy energy, right? We humans are the only ones who produces that what we call hucha, okay, or heavy energy. All right. So power of nature wants us, okay, to live in a very nice environment, always digesting and releasing the heavy energy. All right. So the Paco, okay, have to face that. For that, we have the power of the ancient masters, the Apus, okay. It is why, at the place where we live, we choose 12 Urualcuna, 12 Apus, who are our assessors, okay. Always we will gather your power. Always we will be connected with the power of the Apus in order to transform the heavy energy. That's something that they call as a hucha pampachakui. This is, you release your own heavy energy, and then you are able to digest energy of your surrounding, depending of your capacity and possibility. Highest level priest as Alto Misayo, they can digest the energy of your community. It is why he said, it's my responsibility when it's not enough harvest. He has to deal with all those things, right? So the connection with the powers of nature is very important. It's not what you do, what the Apus order you. It is your free will, all right? Then if you want, to emerge in the spirit, if you want to gain levels of consciousness, it's very important for you to learn how to digest energy. For that, you will have always the endless powers of Pachamama, Mother Earth, representative of Earth, Father Sun, representative of fire, Mother Wind or Father Wind, air, and Mama Kocha, water. It's endless. So you have all the power. In the Andean tradition is that, okay? So our work as a Pacos, it is always transform or digest energy. That is our main work, right? You change yourself first. You digest your own heavy energy, and then you can help digesting to the others. So this is more or less the explanation how is a Paco.
That's very important, Freddie, to deal with the heavy energy. Could you ask Don Martin a practice that we could learn? Is there something that we could begin to understand or practice that would help us with our own heavy energy?
Yeah. Papa Don Martin, Waikayay. Riki kay Waikinchis Kariki and kay Yachayta Munasham Situs Paipas Riki Yachachita Munashamang Imakunatas Yachachisuman no canchis ankay tradition chismanta Ruaita Situs Uyarejkuna Riki mana ni pakopaschu manan paikunaka ni aini carpaitapas o aini despachutapas ruarancho ni siquiera mosokchaku y nada. Riki imas primero kaman paikunapaj anki pako Kausayman haikunankupaj. A ver,
ya. Entonces, aquí Paco Kausay manca imaginan china ñuqaykupis ñuqapis nishanta que primero karpashunpunaraqmi ruwakun chaymantataq ichaqa chay apukunawan contactanaykipaq contacta con sumaqta apukunawan sumaq rimanakuy parlanakuy runasinpaq kashanchik chay tupaypan tupanaykupaq tinkunapaq ruwakun primero chayraqmi ruwakun chaymantaqa chay yanapay manakuyku chaymantaqa huk karpashun huk apupi kallanta ñuqapas qullurtupi kashanaqa chay huk karpashunta qullurtupi chashkini primero anchi karpashunllapuna chaymantaqa mana yachanapaq umas anchiykuna yachanallanpaq karpashunpis chay runaman yachachinanchispaq anchi raymachakuyninchis apumuskunamanta pachamamasmanta anchi imampuna chay yuyayman pensamientoman haykupuyku chayqa chayllamanña qawaripuyku manaña hukta imatapas pensaykuchu anchipi ñuqaykuqa puriyku chay mana ni imapish kanchu ni qillqaypis karqanchu qayllapiraqta kiputa ruwaspa chayta ñawpa machakunapi yacharqanku riki chaypi haykacha tispachu haykun haykacha hayk'arikaruqcha hayka k'intucha chayta kipuman churaspa yachachinakurqanku chaynan chayqa mana imapischu chayqa chay yachayqa facillan kashan mana imamantaraq mañakuy Santa Teresa Pachamamallamanta apullamanta mama nostaskunamanta anchi mañakuylla mana imapischu chay yachayqa chaymantaqa aynata sumaqta runakunata yachachispa kallpanchaspa chay apumuskunawan waqaspa imanaspa ayna cristiano masiaskunata sumaqta yuyayman hapichinchis yachaymunaq yachankupunata mana yachaymunaqqa llankakunankupaq purikunankupaq allin purunankupaq allin kawsanankupaq iman paykunapas mañakullankuta anchimi chayqa mana imapischu mana ima sasapischu hayka sasapischu illan chayqa kunana chaymantaqa apu anchi kuyarumisqa hampespa purikunki wakinkaq winata llaminku riki wakinkaqqa allpachata wisch'uspa wakin may wischapi wakinqa sarachapipis imaymanachaman chaytaqa llank'aytaqa kichariyku pachamamas apunchis kichariwanchis ñanninchista sumaq ñanman churaywanchis mayqinkaq chapipi purikunchis qura hampipipis qurata hampita tupachispa chaywan hampispañata imaymanapukuna hampi kasha anchaychi yachayqa mana imapis apupis kay kikinchu wijiruqmuspa pitapas niwanchis yakita llank'ay haqayta llank'ay nispapis may sunqunpi ujupicha imatapis kallpata churawanchis wayrallacha churawanchis hasta que inti taytanchis imacha sumaqta riki churamuwanchis chay llank'ananchista sumaqta yachayman riki churawanchis anchimi chay pachamamanchispis nustanskunapis hina anchimi chay Espíritu Santo pis kunturkashan riki na kashan Espíritu Santo nispa riki paqa masiykunapas waqhakushan riki Espíritu Santo riki kunturu uku aylacha wamancha
Chay llaman
q'inticha
papá,
anchichata
chay llaman
mañakuy
papito. Chaylat. Gracias, papá. Okay, so I said it's enough by the moment. Otherwise, the translation is a little difficult.
He has much to offer, Freddie. Freddie, you were saying.
Okay. Okay, so my brother, well, we take in our blood and in our spirit all the wisdom of our ancestors. We are empowered and we are showered with the power of our ancestors, the healers, right? So perhaps for us, it is easy, to follow this pathway rather than people who are willing to follow this. My recommendation, the first thing you have to do, it is to open your heart to the powers of nature. Recognize the living energy of Mother Nature. Your connection is very important. your connection with your sacred mountains, all right? Mainly nature. For example, I was initiated at the Koiloriti mountain, Koiloriti Sanctuary, which for the Tero tradition is the healing power, right? For learning and teaching and enjoy all this wisdom that has been transmitted to me from nature. We walked with our masters and we learned from them how to make the sacred reciprocity ceremonies that they always do in order to gain the power to receive. The ones we call Haiwarikui or Despacho and our Karpai. If we start, if we start practicing our reciprocity with nature, then is when your path is being opened. I won't say that this pathway is hard. No, it is easy. It is just open your heart to Mother Nature, and Mother Nature will provide all for you. Then you will be able to taste all the power of Pachamama, the Apus, and the Nustas. When you start feeling all this energy, then is when you are going to feel, what is the power of nature. Practice sacred reciprocity with nature. Gain the right to receive. And then you have to teach some others to do the same and guide your pathway and teach what you learn. This is the Andean tradition. You never keep the wisdom for yourself. What you learn, you have to offer. And this is what we do. Of course, you have to offer to all those who are willing to receive as well. Then is when the reciprocity will be completed. It is easy, my friend. And then you can gain levels of consciousness. That is up to you. You can do your Sapakarpai and then you can get your Kuyas for studying your healing processes. But this is up to you if you want to continue with that. There are Winayamek people. There are people who does diagnosis just touching the blood vein. There are Sarawatuk people who can make the divination process in the Andean tradition with maize, or Kokakawak, the ones who read the coca leaves. All those chances are given for all those who want to learn, right? And then you can cooperate with the health of your population. Your pathway, it is opened, and it's given all the powers of nature for you to use and arrive to a wonderful, wonderful pathway. You can be also a healer with a medicinal plants, right? You can be in touch with the energy of plants and you would be able to use all that energy for healing. The Apu will never obligate you what to do. The Apu will provide everything you request, and this will be always given with no doubts. This is the kindness of Mother Nature. We receive what we ask for. Also, Pachamama give us all the blessings, as other people says. It is the Holy Spirit of Pachamama.
I love this aspect of the sacred reciprocity with nature, Freddie, and coming close to the powers that surround us and in deep relationship with nature that is right here. What would be a practice of Aini, Freddie, or sacred reciprocity? I know you've mentioned the Haiwarikwi, the Despacho. Are there other practices of sacred reciprocity that we could engage in?
Well, as a humans, we are always in a constant Aini. All right, it's a constant energetically. We are second by second, living an Aini. Remember that in this particular moment when I am speaking, you are speaking, and Don Martin is speaking, we are exhaling, we are breathing out carbon dioxide, which is the food for all these plants. The plants never complains about getting our waste, right? Because it's their food. Then they absorb and they transform and give us back what we gave, give us back in form of oxygen, So imagine this is one of the first principles of Aini, the sacred reciprocity. And then we have the other forms of Aini, many forms of Aini, recognizing, the powers of nature every day. Like for the Q'ero people, all right? There are many spiritual practices, like, for example, your everyday pukuriku. Every day when they wake up, they give thanks to the life, thanks to the moment, thanks to the space, thanks to the first meals they are receiving. This is Aini, the recognition of humans to nature, to the opportunity that you are given to live in this space by enjoying all this food that Pachamama provides from the germination, this magic of germination, growing, flowering, giving the seeds or the fruits. This is the recognition that they have every day. It is why they have their pukurikui and then their waharikui. Every single day they will say thank you by everything that they experience, even if that a particular experience brought tears to their eyes or has been painful, because there is no such a punishment for them. Always from these aspects you learn and you become stronger. You learn to digest heavier energies. So we have to be conscious about it. These people live Aini every single day, every single moment, every single second. What you learn, you teach. He said that I'm not going to die with all this wisdom. I get as law of reciprocity in the Indian tradition. What you learn, you gotta teach, yes or yes. And actually teaching will perfect your spiritual art, right? It's also a very nice thing, right? So this is what I would say. What is the Aini? It's very nice feeling to perform this Aini wake. To be conscious that you are gaining the right to receive by offering, by giving. If you don't offer, you don't receive. No, there is no flow, right? Exactly. So that would be my explanation of the sacred Aini that our Q'ero brothers and sisters speaks about.
That's very clear, Freddie, and very profound. I thank you for not only your interpretation, but your knowledge, your wisdom, yourself. I really appreciate your time here and the time of Don Martin in teaching us, in sharing this wisdom. As we come to a close here, would there be anything that Don Martin would like to say about the imperative of living a life of sacred reciprocity now? What would Don Martin like to leave his audience with? What wisdom or what extra word? He's been so generous with his time and his sharing. Is there anything else that he would like to make sure that we learn or understand?
Miss Pari, Papa Don Martin, Waikilay.
Okay.
Imakunas recomendación kanmanta son cochaykimanta lluqsiqhina wayqi imakunatas ninkiman kay wayqi pananchiskunata riki ankay teqsemuyupi Maykunapiraq riki paykuna uyariwashankuriki ankay paco kawsaynichispaq imakunatas paykuna ruwananku ankhayna allin runa allin kawsayman chayanankupaq.
Entonces, pachapaqa allin kawsayman allin puriyman chayachinqa imaynan wayrakaypa wayrakuna saminchawanku kallpanchawanku anchinata paykunapas hinata mama quchanchiskuna kallpanchasqa saminchasqa apunskunaqa chiqantataq pachamamawan masta kallpata quwanchik imi yachayta mana maymanpas chinkanchu kaq pachamamallanchu tiyasha apunskuna sunqullanpi kashan yachayqa mana maymanpas rinchu ni pi runapas apanchu nay runapas apanchu umallanchikman churaspalla purikunchik imi chiqaqta yachayninchisqa hatunta valen kaqtan mañakusqanchikpis mañakusqa kipi yachaynikita quway kipi atiyta quway unay kawsayta quway nispa mañakunas ñuqanchik anchiyllachayqa mana imapischu ashawan mas yachayqa mana pipiya quwashun maymanta pipis quykuwasun runa masiyaspis imapaq quytaqa aturashwanchu anchi pachamamanchis apunchikuna nustanskuna quwanchis anchiyllawan purikuyku kawsakuyku ki mastarillata kunanpis ki llamapas ki entreniyuq ukunpipas imapis chiqaq sumaqta riki mastarispa wiñarishan sumaqman lluqsirishan hatunman inkamuqku hanchirishan chaymi chay kawsayqa mana imapischu chay yachayninchisqa ñuqa sunquymanta lluqsiqqa anchiyllawanmi kawsayku chayllawanmi purikuyku hasta kunanpis hayk'aqpis urpillay sunqulay chaymi chay yachay karqa sunquy ukumanta.
Gracias, papá. Okay. In this existential plane, okay, in this Inkai Pacha, in this present moment, we are given the chance to connect with all powers of nature for our spiritual evolution. It is why we know Saminchai, what is the irrigation or showering with the powers of nature, universal and cosmic mother and cosmic father. It's giving us all this energy coming from the wind, from the sun, from water, from the lakes, from the oceans. What a beautiful power that we can enjoy. All this is given for our spiritual evolution. Let's be open to this chance that we are given for us. Let's ask to powers of nature all what we call Ati. Ati, it is a start, a project, and complete it. Don't leave it in the halfway. Build Kausay. This is the sacred harmony amongst your wisdom, your power of your heart, and your work. Ask for Yachay. Ask for wisdom. Apply on yourself and share with your population. Accept everything that Pachamama and the new stars are providing for you. Don't judge anything. Just accept it. Like I am thanksgiving to the technology because thanks to the heart of this computer, I can speak to you and I can share all this wisdom and I can disseminate all the Inca seeds wherever you are listening to me. See, I thanks give to the computers. Thank you, computer and technology. And I can share this wisdom with you, something that comes from within my heart. Anyay papadong Martin, sumach, nishu muna yachayniki. It's very nice, his wisdom. Okay, you are the elder brother, Wake. You need to teach what he is teaching. He says, Yachachum, okay, says like, let him learn and then teach.
I am so appreciative. We all are, Freddie. All those who listen to.
That's Aini, Wake. Aini every time.
To share.
Exactly.
It's such an honor to be in your presence, Freddie, in the presence of Don Martin, to hear the wisdom, to learn more or remember the value of sacred reciprocity, of learning and being in deep relationship with the nature spirits, of sharing what we know, as you and Don Martin have done today so eloquently and elegantly. So I thank you so much, Freddie, for your time, for your inspiration. And Don Martin is a master. It's just being in his presence, being in your presence, Freddie, that is. I'm so appreciative. The whole audience is so appreciative of being able to have this private consultation, this intimate sharing. Wow, what a gift. I need to close because that's part of sacred reciprocity, to honor the time that we have had and to let you both go on with your work and your teachings as we will with what we have learned from you. I know that if someone wants to get in touch with you, Freddie, or Don Martin, that you can both be reached through wherecochafoundation.org. Is that correct, Freddie?
That's correct. So all those teachings from Don Martin and the Faculty of Masters from Eros we have, it is offered on our Global Paco School, which is given on the viracochafoundation.org. Right. So you can just find us and let's enjoy in reality, enjoy all this wisdom of these masters. I really enjoy translating all this beautiful wisdom. Feeling blessed.
You love your work, Freddie. You have risen to the occasion once again. We're so pleased that we are able to share time with one another.
Anchata kaywayk'anchis añanchaykamushan papadon Martin nishu sumaq rimayniki chaymanta allipaqchayki ankay rimayniki tiqsimuyuman chayanqa sumaq nishu ali nishu munay ankay kawsaynikita armasqayki ankay computadora sunqunpi anchata kaywayk'anchis añanchaykamushan.
Gracias, gracias.
Okay, so thank you very much. Wait.
I believe there's a phrase, Freddie, Tupanachi's kama. It means I'll experience you in the future. Is that right?
Yes, and he understood, of course.
Tupanachi's kama. Thank you so much. And for the summit audience, I want to thank you for being a part of this day, for hearing the wisdom of Don Martin and Freddie Conde, and to feel the energy of the Pacos and their calling and their service and work in the world. I hope you'll join us for another session around the cosmic fire. It is my great pleasure and honor to have shared time with you today. Thank you so much.